right, Special Counsel Jack Smith reportedly sent Mr. Trump a target letter suggesting the former president is likely to face charges related to the January 6th protests at the U.S. Capitol.
And joining us to discuss that, distinguished professor, Touro University, Thane Rosenbaum, plus constitutional attorney Jared Roberts. Great to have you both with us this Friday afternoon. Thane, former president, is the one who said that he anticipates an indictment could be coming at any moment. He shared that at the very beginning of the week. Also, a lot of anticipation on what would actually be in that indictment. Your thoughts?
You know, Katrina, I've been telling you since this started, I always thought the January 6th charges were the weakest of all the cases, including the falsification of business records in New York. So I have no idea, unless they have some smoking gun. One charge is the incitement to the riot on the Capitol. But again, the president is protected. He has his own a right under the Constitution to engage in political advocacy. If he believed that he had been defrauded in the election, he has a right to say so. Nothing he said at the ellipse meets the Supreme Court precedent for incitement. Seditious conspiracy, I don't see where you get that. The Select House Committee produced no evidence at all, again, unless they have something that we've not seen that shows any direct causal link between the president, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, the people that actually broke in. There's no connection. They have a tweet that says, come on January 6th, it will be wild. I've said this before. That's what frat boys say about keg parties. That, to me, does not say, come to the January 6th and break into the Capitol. So I don't see a conspiracy there. And of course, the one legal theory that all the other defendants, remember, there's 900 people that were arrested, 600 convictions, over 300 of them were convicted for obstruction of an official proceeding. Yeah. Again, I just don't see it. Even they're appealing that because that statute deals with corporate malfeasance, shredding of documents, witness tampering. Okay. It's never really ever been used for a riot before. Okay. And again, I'll say the same thing. The president, if he believes he was defrauded, he has a right to say so.
Okay. Now, I'm guessing because it isn't really clear, because the only way we know he's a target, really, is that Mr. Trump himself told us that he received something Sunday night indicating that. There is the issue, you have fake electors that are actually being charged in Michigan, Jared, and I'm only guessing here that maybe this is part of the efforts to try to create a narrative that there is an insurrection. To a lot of people, that seems like an overcharge, that this was not an insurrection. What is your insight on other elements that we've seen floated out there as possible problems for the former president?
Right now, it really seems to be a race. Far-left prosecutors are trying to get their name in the papers by trumping up these bogus charges against President Trump, his supporters, and anyone who worked with him. The fact of the matter is that they're terrified of the prospects of an election against him in 2024. The polling shows that the president is doing great, and the president was a very wildly successful president. And so they are very terrified of that. And so now they're in panic mode. They're rushing to get a bunch of these charges going. But the fact of the matter is the president had a First Amendment right to speak out on that day. He has the duty under the Constitution to ensure that the laws were faithfully executed, to make sure that no laws were broken during the counting of the ballots. And so anything the president and his team was doing was all lawful during this process. However, these far left-wing prosecutors are trying to damage our democracy because they're terrified that they're not going to beat them in 2024.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Jared